Hey, blessings everyone. This is Yanni, the only logologist. So I have this sister in my chair. Let's call her Michelle. Okay. So Michelle has something called seborrheic dermatitis. So let me explain what seborrheic dermatitis is. First, let me show you what it is. Okay. This is seborrheic dermatitis. You guys see, hold on. Can I turn you this way gently? You see how this part of her scalp looks beautiful, nice, normal color of her beautiful melanated complexion. And this white stuff you see here, it's called seborrheic dermatitis. It is not dandruff, eczema, or anything like that. It is cradle cap. Now, when a baby is born, some babies have cradle cap. I think after, I don't have children, what, it falls off, I think after like a couple of weeks, right? Right, I never had a child before, but I remember seeing it. And once you become an adult, it's no longer called cradle cap, it's called seborrheic dermatitis. She's been to a dermatologist and it was never officially diagnosed. We spoke on the phone and she was such a good sport. Come on, I told you about that person who called me before and felt some kind of way and hung up. She understood why I always ask people, why do you want to come to us? Because I need to make sure we're a good fit. We are not Shanae the loctician that retwists you in a style. I have a medical background, and when clients like this come, I need to find out what is wrong with their scalp, okay? So, or their hair. In her case, beautiful, see, nice, thick, very disrespectful head of locks, which is a compliment coming from me, but she has this. So on the phone, I started her free consultation. I'm like, okay, tell me about your background. She's a medical worker. She was at ground zero during COVID. Now, seborrheic dermatitis is triggered by stress, kind of like an autoimmune disease, okay? So during that time, she admits, and if you guys see what she looks like now, she's very fit. She's snatched, like the young people say. Skin is flawless, right? But she said, Yanni, during that time, I wasn't eating properly. I was getting food out of like the canteens or the vending machines. That's a lot of preservatives and stuff. And those things are not good for people with skin conditions or just for anyone, period. But she didn't have it then, right? She was getting a little tightness, a little itching, and then the seborrheic dermatitis formed. You guys see it there? See how it goes down? All that white stuff. I wish you could hear it. It feels like somebody took the finest sandpaper and glued it on the scalp. And when you touch it, that's exactly what seborrheic dermatitis feels like. So anywho, yes, you can use, if you look down, bend your head, you guys see it right where it stopped? Perfect, it's showing good, yeah, perfect. That's where the seborrheic dermatitis is. So that's a patch she has here. She has one in the front, one on the side. One on the side, one on the side, and one in the front. Okay. So it is caused by stress. It's caused by a bunch of other stuff. Basically, the immune system is compromised, and it's there it is, right? And kind of like an autoimmune disease, like what I have, it does wait for a very stressful thing. Her stressful thing was COVID. She said, a lot of people can have their families. I'm watching people die left, right, and center. I'm consoling them. I'm holding them. I'm eating a lot of stuff wrong. I'm not sleeping properly. Boom, you have seborrheic dermatitis. So how are we going to fix it? Yes, you could use all the topical stuff. You can go to, this is where dermatologists come in, because seborrheic dermatitis is a skin condition, not a hair condition, right? It could affect the hair, but it really stems from the skin. They will give you something topical, like Nasorol, like steroid shots, steroid creams, and all of that. I personally, me being a holistic person, I wouldn't use it, because once you stop using that, yes, it could help the problem. In her case, it didn't. It actually made it worse, right? Work on it on the inside. So it is candida. Candida is yeast. Yeast is sugar. That's how you break it down. When you think of yeast infections, not just for women. So guys, you can get it too. So get out of your ego. Okay, you may not have a vagina, but you can also get yeast. It comes in the form of thrush. You get it on your tongue, right? Good. So when, some people don't know that. They hear yeast, they're thinking a yeast infection. Only women get that. No, men can get it too. All right, good. Sugar. So how is the form of sugar? Yes, she may not be eating candy, because I told you she is snatched. She's not eating candy and stuff, but her Achilles heel, white, meaning white flour, white bread, pasta, white rice, muffins, bagels, all of that. Like, I can eat it, or Michelle could eat it, or Shanae could eat it, and we will be fine. But when she eats it, because it breaks down in her body differently, this is what happened. These things, as we call Candida yeast, always take the path of least resistance. In her case, it came through her scalp. I wish you guys could see how beautiful this young lady looked. She was drinking water. When she pulled her mask up, I was like, shit, you're a fine so-and-so's. And I meant that as a, she is stunning, right? And she's subconscious of this because she really thought her hair was falling out. I'm like, no, you still have all your hair, right? So what she's going to do is she's going to cut back on that. First of all, she's going to get a probiotic. Probiotics balances your natural flora. Pro meaning for, and biotic mean life. So it's for life. That's why antibiotic is anti-life. So she needs to balance her flora. It all starts in the gut. And though she looks snatched, you could look like, I'm trying to say, a skinny supermodel. If your pH is off, it's off. All right. That has nothing to do with weight. It's just that some people burn fat or energy faster. That's where you hear the word metabolism. Okay. So she's going to start with a probiotic. I'm going to tell her the probiotic she's going to get because she has to work on this on the inside. She's also going to get on vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of the most alkaline things you could do to your body. When you think of vitamin C, you think of orange juice, you think of oranges, you think of lemon. And though it's acidic tasting, it's actually one of the most alkaline things to do to your body. This is acidity. Her body's acidic, and that's why this is, and it's creating the yeast, and that's why this is coming out. Okay. She's also going to go on vitamin D. Excellent. And you're going to do this own research yourself, Queen. Don't take my word for it. I could be a crackhead and talking out of my ass. I always tell people, research stuff yourself. We're in the time of technology. We have no excuse. Do not take anybody's word for it. Okay? So she's going to start on that. All right? Vitamin D, a probiotic, and Jimmy is about to go give her an antifungal, 2 different ones wash. Even though this is not considered a fungus, he's going to clear this up as best as he could, but it is still going to come back if she does not work on the inside. So you finished with that here, but Shell? Yeah. Okay. Mish, you're going to go over in a little bit, and we're going to talk about this, all right? Yeah. You know, my skull showing on the table. Yes, guys, I know somebody, because people always looking in the back. Oh, what's that? Is that skulls? Yes, I collect skulls. I love skulls. So it's not in a creepy way. I really do love skulls. That's what you guys seen in the back there. 2 of my skulls. I love it. Right, you guys seeing it? Look at that. That's seborrheic dermatitis. So there is hope, okay? And I'm going to tell you the topical solution I'm going to mix for her so you guys can try it yourself. Jimmy's ready for you. Hey guys, blessings everyone. This is Yanni, the only luckologist. So when you see this video, when I post this, there'll be one before it. Of course, today is January the 20, what? What's the date? None of your 26th? Yes. Today's January the 26th. When I saw her was in July. So this is going to go back to back. This young lady she gave me permission. There's no gun to her head and she's not being shamed, but this video is going to help a lot of people. She has seborrheic dermatitis. It came about a year ago. Am I saying that correctly? Correct. Right. About a year ago. And when we only saw her once. In fact, she was supposed to be one of the clients we'd have seen when we were here in October, and that's when Jimmy's mother ended up getting sick, and you guys know she transitioned and all of that. She's with the ancestors now. His mother is fine. All right. And I felt so bad. I don't tell clients to come back. If they come back, it's because, you know, it's not like I'm hounding them down for money. If clients come back because they choose to come back. But she's first time ever I saw a client who I didn't see with the time I wanted to see her, and I was upset because I really wanted to work on her hair, right? So when she came the first time, even after Jimmy's wash, the seborrheic dermatitis was still on her scalp, very, very strong. So today we decided to try a whole new method, and woo, I told Jimmy how to execute it, and he has outdid himself. You guys can see her scalp is a lot cleaner. All right, let me tilt it towards the light. It's a lot better. She just has one small portion right here. Plus, this is mixed up with gray hair, so it looks like seborrheic dermatitis. It really isn't. It's more gray hair. So this area right here is like one of the few areas she has. Actually, the only area now that I think about it. Okay, remember this is mixed with gray hair, so it will look like it's seborrheic, but it's not. Okay, here a lot cleaner. When she came the first time, even after Jimmy washed her, it was on. So for the people watching this who don't know what seborrheic dermatitis is, I've done videos on it. When you're a baby, most babies are born with cradle cap. It's called cradle cap. Okay, it's just a little flaky cap on their head, and as the baby grows within months, bloops, it falls off. Okay, when you're an adult and you get it, we can't call you created that because why? You're not a blasted baby. All right, you're an adult, you're a grown-ass man, you're a grown-ass woman. Okay, so I'm joking. You guys know I talk foolishness. When you're an adult, it's called seborrheic dermatitis. So what triggers seborrheic dermatitis? First of all, for some people, a compromised immune system. So people who are battling cancer, dealing with chemo, radiation, all of that, they can get it. Certain medical conditions can trigger it. For some people, it's really triggered by stress. I like reading medical articles, literature or whatever, and some doctors are now classifying seborrheic dermatitis, eczema. What's the other one? Oh God, I forgot the other one that also flakes on people. Eczema. It's going to come to me. Some doctors, not all, some doctors are thinking of classifying them as types of autoimmune diseases that affects the skin and the scalp. Right? They're still working on this study because that's why they see a doctor say they're practicing medicine because they're always working on new stuff. Right. For her now, hers was triggered by stress. She's very healthy, very beautiful lady, very well, always well dressed, but hers was triggered by stress. So when she came the first time, I said, sis, you know what? You got to work on this on the inside. It's also a gut problem. So I put her on, and I'm going to put the link if you guys who are dealing with it want seborrheic dermatitis or eczema. Psoriasis is the other one. I told you to come back to me. Right, psoriasis is the other one. It's a gut problem. You can go to a dermatologist, and most dermatologists will not tell you this. They're going to give you, have you been to a dermatologist for this? They give you the steroid wash. Absolutely. And it didn't do a blast. Let me say it in my Trinidadian accent. It didn't do a blasted thing, eh? Right. It didn't help you at all, eh? Right. No, it doesn't help. The last thing you want to do is put steroids in your hair, because once you stop using that, the condition you have is going to come back 20 times over. It's a gut problem, meaning, and I'm not saying you have a little Buddha belly like me, or it's not a weight thing. It starts with the gut. It is candida, it is yeast. How do you fix candida and yeast? First of all, you want to avoid sugar, and I don't mean you sweetening your tea. It goes beyond that. White rice, white pasta, bread, white bread, let me see, bagels, muffins, all that stuff, flour, it's going to break down in your gut. And candida or yeast takes the path of least resistance for some people, so it's going to attack the scalp, right? But in her case, okay, so I sent her my link. I said, listen, after today you could listen to what I'm saying. No, you don't. When she started taking the probiotic. What is a probiotic? You guys know what antibiotic mean. Biotic mean life, anti mean anti-life. That's why when we women, for some of us, say you have a tooth infection or whatever, and we take an antibiotic, we end up with a yeast infection because it's killing the good bacteria. Probiotic balances your pH, okay, but it also helps with your gut health. If you're dealing with a scalp issue, psoriasis, eczema, seborrheic dermatitis, whatever is out there, please look into a good probiotic. I'll put the link on the one I swear by. Okay, Acidophilus is another good probiotic. Yogurt. Yogurt is a natural probiotic. We have pretty good probiotics. I'll show you the one I use, okay? Even good probiotics for women to avoid them getting yeast infections, vaginitis, odors, and all of that. Probiotics also helps with that, okay? Good. You guys know when I talk, when I'm talking shenanigans and cussing, you all know I drop the gems, okay? So she started that when she came this morning. Before Jim even washed her hair, I realized her seborrheic dermatitis patches has shrunk. She also said, Yanni, I've been using your oil treatment. I don't know if I mentioned it in the beginning of this video, but I'm going to say it again because the only time I'll see it is when I'm ready to post this. I'll go back and realize I did say it. But just in case, my regimen for seborrheic dermatitis, eczema, and psoriasis is, if you're not allergic to any of these, you get a bottle like this. You put half organic coconut oil. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's your phone. The coconut oil is going to, I say coagulate. It's not coagulate. Coagulation is for blood, but it's going to clump up, okay? Here, how you're going to fix that. You're going to put half coconut oil, half virgin olive oil. Get organic, pure virgin olive oil, okay? So half and half. And you're going to get a bottle like this, 8 to 10 drops of tea tree oil. That is your combination for oil if you're dealing with a scalp condition, okay? Also, when it comes to washing your hair, have you washed your hair since you saw us?
Once.
One time. See? Yes, that's what I'm freaking talking about. You see? Because people be fighting me about hair washing. I'm like, listen, you're making the problem worse. For me, you are. And look how it cleared up. That is crazy. Before me, how often were you washing?
Maybe
varies.
every 2-3 weeks. But
So it was, and look how you came. It was on your head like a helmet.
I wouldn't have watched it once except you told me to.
Yeah, I told you smack dab in the middle. I was so if I didn't tell you wash it, you would not have even washed it.
No.
And the crazy thing is, it was cleared up before you even washed your hair. Too bad we didn't do the video showing your hair when you walked in the door, right? So for those who want to follow, try to avoid overwashing your hair. Your problem is on the inside. The washing is going to dry your sebaceous glands out, so you're not producing enough oils, and it's going to make the problem worse. Okay? So once she applied this concoction I told her about, she has noticed a huge difference. Her itching has stopped, and again, I'm going by what she told me. Her itching has stopped, the flakiness, the discomfort. Okay, also, she has upped her water intake. Water. The only thing I added to that, please stop drinking plain water. Put lemon in your water. I'm not talking about infusing your water and cutting up onions and tomatoes and making it like a friggin' salad and what else people be doing. Just the effing most, man. I don't have time for all that crap. I'm not doing that. If you have the time, go ahead, knock yourself out. But listen, the pharmacy, the supermarket sells those little small bottles that look like a little fake lemon with lemon juice. Squirts in your water, you will be fine. I buy big bottles of that because I can't even drink plain water anymore. It tastes like vomit to me. I don't know what vomit tastes like, but I can it tastes like that. I don't drink plain water, but my point is, you guys know I was joking around. Put lemon in your water, because what lemon, though it is an acidic tasting thing, is one of the most alkaline things because of the vitamin C you can do to your body. Also, look into taking vitamin C supplements. You need to alkaline your body. It is a problem from the inside. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to finish her scalp. I'm oiling her right now. I put a little extra oomph in this for her. Can't lay out all my secrets. I'm joking, she will know. All right. Also, if you do decide to wash your hair, get Dr. Bronner's with Sweetums. Could you pass me the Dr. Bronner's tea tree? If you must wash your hair, do not use the peppermint. If you're dealing with a scalp issue, similar scalp issue, use Dr. Bronner's tea tree. That is good. Try to avoid shampoos and conditioners. You're going to get a flare-up. It's going to make the problem worse. Also, avoid stress. I'm not talking about everyday stress like you miss a meeting or you got to pop. This is the tea tree, the orange one. Tea tree, Dr. Bronner's. Okay? Thank you, sweetheart. I'm not talking about everyday stress, but big stress. I cannot tell you, I've been doing this for many, many years. I have thousands of clients, and I'm talking about my regulars. I know when they're dealing with something stressful, they experience what you call a flare up. Okay, so avoid stress. If you know it's a toxic relationship, and it doesn't have to be man or woman, whatever, not that type of relationship, that too, but it could just be toxic friends, toxic family. If you know that it's around you, try to how could I put it? Subtract yourself. That's the word. Subtract yourself from that. Stress brings on. If it's something you could avoid. Now, if you're buying a house, that's how I ended up with Graves' disease. My Graves came on from buying a house. You can't avoid that. You need a dang on house. But if it's something you could avoid, where you just, every time Shanae call you with drama or Kevin call you with drama, you got caller ID. Don't pick up the blasted phone. All right? Just stop that. Your hair is telling you something. When stuff like this happens, it's telling you, wait a second, Candace, wait a second, Yvette, wait a second, Michelle, Tyron, whatever. Your body is stressed, and this is how you're seeing it. This is the if you want to say manifestation of it's coming out, okay? So I'm about to go finish her hair. I already started the back. Her scalp looks so beautiful. Beautiful. Her grays are beautiful. This is it. I'm not doing her hair tight. I'm not focused on neatness. I'm more focused. If you pull, that's another thing. Over styling, pulling, it's going to give you a flare up, especially when it comes to psoriasis. For those of you that are pulling, that's why you notice it on the hairline if you have psoriasis. Because the pulling and the yanking, you are irritating the follicle, and poops, it pops up. Okay? Let me go finish her hair real quick, sis. As always, thank you for letting me do this. I will do a last part of this when I'm done with her hair. Stay tuned. It looks how it feels. Right. Amazing. Good, good, good. You're on the right track, sis. We're doing good. I'm proud of you. Some people don't friggin' listen. Okay, we are back. She is done. There was a couple things I forgot to mention. In fact, she reminded me. Thank you, sis. One, you remember I told you the pulling, the yanking, the styling will make it worse. It will exaggerate it. Whatever word you want to use, it's going to be worse. Another thing, dryers and products. If you are battling a scalp condition, psoriasis, eczema, seborrheic dermatitis, whatever is out there, if you're battling it and products is being used on your locks, gels, souffles, or waxes, all these things, then that makes it worse. And you go under a dryer. The dryer is literally, it's a dryer. The word is self-explanatory. It's literally baking and frying the frazzle out of your little follicles. Dryers is the enemy for, even for healthy hair, it's the enemy, period. But especially if you have an issue like this, right? Another thing I forgot to mention, you guys heard me mention her. She's been using probiotic, right? She also reminded me, because we missed the last cycle, we missed each other. I also told her about something called grapefruit seed oil. Please look that thing up. It is OMG. Look it up. It is a natural probiotic, also from yeast infection, anything relating to candida. It is an amazing oil. I will put the links to all these things I'm mentioning. Another one is organic sulfur, which is MSM. Again, if you are not allergic, if you're allergic to these things, don't use it. If you're allergic to anything that has grapefruit in it, then you should not be using this. You shouldn't even be listening to me. Okay? So don't be like, oh, you only say use it, and you know if your sulfur even touches your tongue, you're going to apoplectic shock. Don't blame me, blame yourself. You should have known not to use that crap. All right? Yeah, don't, people do that. That's why, like, oh, I use that and I'm allergic. Oh, you should have known you're allergic to it. Okay? So she's going to keep it simple. When she first got diagnosed with, seborrheic, and it's actually more than a year. She told me what it was. She was one of the people in a very high, stressful job in a hospital during COVID, during the pandemic. So when we look at it, it's more than a year. And the first place she noticed it, because she has very thick eyebrows, her hairline, her natural hairline was once here. This is where it pulled all her hair out. That is what seborrheic dermatitis will do for some people. It could actually damage the hair. Though the rest of her hair looks amazing, as you guys can see, right? And I didn't focus on it being tight and neat, because you don't want to pull. It did have an effect. So she said this is where it started coming out first. She has locks, as you can see, very thin, right? She is going to use just castor oil in the front. I'm going to start on castor oil first. If when I see it in 3 months, God willing, in April, God willing, and I don't find it's enough, I'm going to put on another serum that I use for clients who's experiencing hair loss. This is not from traction alopecia. This is not for her. It's not from traction alopecia, pulling, styling. This is from what the seborrheic dermatitis did. It starts the Chinese would say, eat the hair out. Okay? So keep it simple. Drink your water. If you are using the grape seed, grapefruit seed. Grape seed oil is something different. That's from grapes. Grapefruit seed, meaning the grapefruit, that little big thing that looked like an orange on steroids. Hate the taste of grapefruit. Anyway, it's the one I'm going to put is in a dropper. The best time to take it. You don't have to drink that throughout the day. Take 8 to 10 drops in a glass of 8 ounce or bottle of water. The last thing at night. While your body is sleeping, it's going to work on the candida. Again, these scalp issues that I mentioned is a gut health issue. Okay? Candida, yeast, you heard the word yeast, meaning yeast infection. We women are not the only ones who get yeast infections. Men could get it too. We have clients with candida. They're all linked to each other. They're married to each other. It's the same thing. The different sides of the same coin. Okay? Steroid cream, all these things. If you want to go to a doctor, fine. But it really makes it worse. In her case, how did you use it when they were prescribed to you?
It was something I was to put on my scalp.
Right.
But once I put it on my scalp, it actually made it worse.
It flared up worse. Right.
Yeah.
So it was a small amount and then it spread.
Yes.
I'm not saying it does it for all people, but because the work we do are organic and holistic, I tell my clients, don't take that stuff. Do not take it. A doctor will never tell you, Miss Mackenzie, Miss Sharon, whatever, Mr. Charles, you have to cut out, sugars. You have to cut out sweets in the sense where white rice, bread, this thing that people love, bagel, all that stuff is gonna just form on the guts. And I'm not talking about the Buddha belly. You know, I said this before, and you guys know I'm repetitive, but I just want to drive the point across. Not about your little Buddha belly. It is about, it's going to sit there and it's going to come out. It's going to take the path of least resistance. And in her case, it was her scalp. Okay, remember, half and half organic coconut oil, half organic virgin olive oil, 8 to 10 drops of tea tree. Do not put anything else in that concoction. The virgin olive oil will prevent, and I forgot to mention that earlier, it will prevent your coconut oil from getting clumped up. Okay, so you don't, that's how you fix that problem if it bothers you, because coconut oil naturally clumps up when it gets below a certain temperature in the room. Okay, so that will prevent that. So it will always be liquefied. Okay, apply it if you're dealing with the 3 scalp issues I mentioned. Apply it only to the scalp. If you're dealing with a flare-up, you're going to know only to the scalp every 3 to 5 days. Just the scalp, gently massage. Try to avoid getting your hair done very often. That's another thing. Vanity is going to be most people's downfall. All right? I hope this information helps. Remember, when we come back in April, we are moving to, not us, we are not moving, the businesses, can't stress that enough. We are moving to Atlanta after 9 years of being at this hotel. After 9 years, loving the staff, seeing them come and go, we are finally moving to Atlanta, and I'm excited. How does your hair feel?
Amazing.
Feels good? Good. I am proud of you. This is amazing. Yeah, good. When you left the first time, did you still experience some itching?
A little.
A little.
But as I started doing
the regimen,
it was getting better.
It was getting a lot better. Okay, okay. Remember, guys, water. Put lemon juice in your water, a couple of drops. Stay tuned for more videos, guys. Let's spray this. This is good. Some nice rollers. Anytime your hair gets a little fuzzy, put a couple of rollers or rods. You have the perfect hair for curls. It'll look beautiful.